The San Francisco fog clings to the glass spire of Nexus Innovations headquarters, a sleek monument to ambition in the heart of Soma. Inside, the penthouse lounge pulses with tech elite venture capitalists. Sipping artisanal gin engineers trading quips about neural nets. Nathan Hayes, Nexus's Golden Boy VP, commands the room, his tailored blazer sharp, his laugh a calculated weapon. He leans against a bar of reclaimed redwood eyes scanning for his next target. They land on me, Claire Thompson, his wife. "Hey Claire," he calls, voice honeyed with venom. "Still debugging code in that basement cubicle? Or you finally gonna pitch that, what was it, chatbot side hustle?" Laughter ripples sharp and practiced from his posse execs in Patagonia, vests their smirks as polished as their pitch decks. I stand by a window, my off-the-rack sweater fading into the crowd, my coffee mug a prop to hide my trembling hands. They see Claire Evans, a mid-level coder scraping by. Not Claire Thompson, the shadow CEO, who built Nexus through a maze of proxies to dodge the spotlight. Nathan's jab stings, but it's the subtext that cuts deeper. He's not just mocking me, he's reminding me who he thinks holds the power. I force a smile, my eyes meeting his for a fraction too long. He doesn't know I've spent 3 years tracing his every move. He doesn't know my encrypted laptop, hidden in a Mission District lockbox, holds proof of his betrayal, a deal to leak Nexus's AI to a black market buyer. My pulse quickens as I glance at my phone, a burner tucked in my pocket. A new alert transfer confirmed. Port of Oakland, 48 hours. Nathan's not just cheating the company, he's gambling with lives, and I'm the only one who can stop him. But at what cost? I've lied to everyone, my team, my friends, even myself, to pull this off. One wrong move and I lose it all. Nathan raises his glass, his grin a challenge. To dreamers who keep trying, he toasts, eyes locked on me. I lift my mug, my voice soft, to truth, coming soon. The room laughs oblivious, but Nathan's smile twitches. He senses something. Good, let him wonder, because in 2 days I'll tear his world apart, or burn trying. What's my next move? Stick around, you'll see. The Fairmont Hotel's ballroom in San Francisco hums with the clink of crystal and the low buzz of ambition. Tech titans and venture capitalists weave through the crowd, their voices sharp with talk of IPOs and machine learning. I linger near a marble pillar, my gray blazer blending into the shadows, a glass of untouched sparkling water in my hand. To them, I'm Claire Evans, a mid-level software engineer at Nexus Innovations, a nobody churning out code for minimum viable products. But I'm not. I'm Claire Thompson, the shadow CEO who built Nexus a cybersecurity and I juggernaut from a folding table in a Tenderloin studio. For 5 years, I've hidden behind a proxy, my COO, Amanda Reyes, to dodge the spotlight and keep my enemies close. One enemy closer than most, my husband, Nathan Hayes. Nathan stands at the room's heart, his bespoke suit catching the chandelier's glow. His laugh a blade sheathed in charm. As Nexus's vice president, he's the poster boy for Silicon Valley success, all charisma and calculated handshakes. Flanking him are his loyal lieutenants, Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh executives, who mirror his swagger, their Patagonia vests, and Allbirds sneakers, a uniform of privilege. Nathan's eyes find me, and his grin sharpens. "Claire, babe," he calls loud enough to turn heads, still wrestling with those Python scripts. "Don't burn out before you hit middle management." The crowd chuckles a rehearsed sound, and Ethan leans in smirking. "Gotta hand it to you, Nate. Most guys wouldn't bankroll a coder with no exit strategy. My cheeks flush, but I keep my smile soft, my gaze dropping to the floor. They think I'm the lucky wife tethered to Nathan's wealth, a charity case he tolerates. They don't know I'm the one who wrote the algorithms that power Nexus's threat detection systems, the one who secured our first Pentagon contract. They don't know I chose this mask 5 years ago, when I met Nathan at a Stanford hackathon. He was a broke MBA grad with big dreams, and I was a prodigy who wanted love, not headlines. So I lied. I rented a cramped Oakland apartment, drove a dented Honda, and played the struggling coder. At first, Nathan was kind, cheering my little projects, but as he climbed Nexus's ranks, his kindness curdled into contempt. Now I'm his punchline. Tonight's gala, a celebration of Nexus's latest AI patent, is his stage. Nathan raises his glass, his voice booming. To the dreamers who keep us grounded. His eyes lock on me, the jab clear. I sip my water, the bubbles sharp, and let the laughter roll over me. I could end this now, step forward, claim my title watch. His face collapse, but I don't, because Nathan's not just cruel, he's dangerous. 9 months ago, I found a burner phone in his gym bag, its texts cryptic data ready. $20,000. Oakland port, my gut twisted. Nexus's AI built to protect was being shopped to a black market buyer, the kind who'd turn it into a weapon. Nathan was selling my life's work. I didn't confront him. I got smart. I hired a rogue cybersecurity expert, Zoe Kim, who moves like a ghost through dark web forms. I tasked her with tracing Nathan's deals, no questions asked. I also looped in my proxy Amanda, who fed me boardroom intel while keeping my identity locked tight. The truth was uglier than I feared. Nathan, Ethan, Caleb, and Ryan were siphoning Nexus funds through fake vendor contracts, funneling millions to a shell company in Panama. Worse, they were negotiating with a shadowy buyer rumored ties to a Russian cybercrime ring to leak our AI's source code. The deal was set for the port of Oakland 2 days from now. If they succeeded, Nexus would collapse and our tech would fuel chaos. Proof was my weapon, but getting it wasn't easy. Zoe hit walls, encrypted servers, VPNs, dead-end wallets. Nathan's crew was sloppy, but paranoid, using burner apps and coded phrases. I nearly got caught when Caleb Nexus's CTO flagged an anomaly in our network logs. I was stress testing my surveillance code, a hidden script that scraped their emails. Zoe rerouted the trace to a decoy server in Seoul, but it was too close. My heart pounded for days, expecting Nathan to confront me. He didn't. He just mocked me harder at home, his voice icy over dinner. "You look tired, Claire. Those bug fixes wearing you out?" I nodded, hiding my shaking hands, knowing one slip could unravel everything. I needed more than digital crumbs. I needed their world, their cruelty laid bare. So I went undercover in my own company. I applied for a junior AI role as Sarah Miller, a fresh Berkeley grad with a thin GitHub profile. I wore a thrift store blouse, smudged my eyeliner, and fumbled my words. The interview was a gauntlet. Ethan, Caleb, and Ryan sat across from me, their disdain palpable. "Sarah, right," Ethan drawled, tossing my resume aside. "You think you're cut out for Nexus?" "We don't babysit hobbyists," Caleb smirked, checking his Apple Watch. "What's your biggest project?" "A to-do app," I stammered. "I built a neural net for fraud detection." Ryan laughed, texting under the table. "Cute. Stick to open source, kid." Their phones pinged in sync. Ethan glanced at his snorting. "Nate says his wife's got a new fan." Pathetic. I knew Nathan was laughing at me miles away. I left the room head bowed, their rejection a badge. I didn't need their job, I needed their truth. Nexus was a machine that rewarded bullies and buried talent. That interview fueled me, but it also cracked something. Late that night in my Oakland rental, I stared at my laptop. Zoe's latest report opened bank transfers, coded emails, a grainy photo of Nathan at the port. Was this worth it? The lies, the loneliness, the fear of losing everything. I almost deleted it all. But then I remembered Rachel Nguyen, an engineer. Nathan drove out for questioning his audits. Her story whispered in a San Jose diner kept me going. She deserved justice, so did I. Nathan thinks he's untouchable, his deal days away. He thinks I'm weak, a shadow in his spotlight. But I've got Zoe's data, Amanda's intel, and a plan. The shareholder meeting at Moscone Center is my stage. I'll expose him, his crew, their treason, but doubt gnaws at me. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm becoming the monster I hate? I push it down. Nathan's laughter still burns my ears. He's underestimated me for the last time. Soon he'll see who I really am. And when he does, there'll be no curtain to hide behind. The San Francisco dawn barely pierces the fog as I sit in my Oakland apartment, the glow of my laptop casting shadows across the peeling wallpaper. To Nexus Innovations. I'm Claire Evans, a faceless coder buried in the engineering bullpen debugging algorithms no one cares about. But here in this cramped studio, I'm Claire Thompson, the shadow CEO unraveling a betrayal that could destroy my company. My fingers hover over the keyboard, accessing a hidden dashboard I built into Nexus's servers. A digital trap snaring every email call and transaction Nathan Hayes and his crew think they've buried. The truth is close, but it's a blade that could cut me too. 9 months ago, that burner phone in Nathan's gym bag cracked my world open. Texts about 20 mamas and Oakland Port weren't just greed, they were treason. Nathan, my husband, Nexus's vice president, was selling our AI, a system I designed to shield nations, to a black market buyer with ties to a Russian cybercrime ring. Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh, his loyal execs, were in on it, siphoning millions through fake contracts to fund their deal. I couldn't confront him, not without proof. So I built a team. Zoe Kim, a cybersecurity maverick who haunts dark web forums, became my eyes in the shadows. Amanda Reyes, my proxy COO, fed me boardroom whispers while shielding my identity as CEO. Together, we hunted. Getting evidence was like cracking a safe with a paperclip. Zoe's first sweeps hit dead ends, encrypted drives, burner apps, wallets bouncing through crypto mixers. Nathan's crew was sloppy, but cautious, using coded phrases like shipment for the AI code. I pushed harder, embedding a surveillance script in Nexus's cloud, scraping their Slack channels and VPN logs. It nearly blew up when Ryan, the careless one, ran a network audit and flagged irregular traffic. My heart stopped as Zoe rerouted the trace to a dummy server in Hong Kong, but Nathan's suspicions spiked. At home, his eyes lingered, his voice probing. "You're quiet lately, Claire. Something up at work?" I shrugged, my pulse racing, and mumbled about deadlines. One wrong word and I'd be exposed. I needed more than bits and bytes. I needed their world, the poison they'd spread through my company. So I became Sarah Miller, a Berkeley grad with a flimsy resume and a nervous tic. I applied for a data science role at Nexus, my application crafted to scream desperate. In a faded cardigan and scuffed flats, I walked into the 10th floor conference room facing Ethan, Caleb, and Ryan. Ethan barely glanced at my CV, his smirk cutting. "Sarah, you built... What a recommendation engine." "That's cute." Caleb leaned back, scrolling X on his phone. "We need sharks, not minnows." "What's your edge?" I stammered. "I've worked on anomaly detection for fraud." Ryan snorted, texting. "Stick to Kaggle, kid. This is the big leagues." Their laughter burned, but I leaned into it, letting them think they'd broken me. Then their phones buzzed. Caleb glanced at his chuckling. "Nate's got a kick out of this. Says his wife's protege is bombing." Nathan's mockery texted from a Palo Alto golf course was a gut punch. I left the room, my thank you barely audible, but my mind was alive. That interview wasn't a failure, it was a window. Nexus was a machine that crushed dreamers, rewarding only those who bowed to Nathan's clique. I saw it in their eyes. I was nothing, just like every coder they'd dismissed, every intern they'd humiliated. Zoe's next report shifted the game. She cracked an encrypted email chain between Nathan and a buyer, Victor, confirming the AI handoff at the Port of Oakland in 48 hours. Bank records showed $5 million already moved through a Panama shell company. A grainy photo snapped by Zoe's drone caught Nathan at the port, shaking hands with a man in a black SUV. But the real bombshell was Rachel Nguyen. Zoe dug up her exit file forced out 2 years ago after flagging irregular payments Nathan approved. He'd threatened her career, her green card, until she quit. I found her at a San Jose startup, her eyes wary over a diner coffee. "He said I'd be blacklisted," she whispered. "I had no choice." I didn't tell her I was the CEO, only a whistleblower with a plan. Her anger matched mine. "I'm in," she said. Rachel's story wasn't just fuel, it was a mirror. Nathan didn't just betray Nexus, he betrayed us all. The closer I got, the higher the stakes. Last week, Ethan hired a third-party firm to sweep Nexus's servers, sniffing for leaks. Zoe's countermeasures held, but I barely slept, expecting a knock at my door. At home, Nathan was a coiled spring, his jokes sharper, his gaze heavier. "You're distracted, Claire," he said over takeout. His fork pausing, something I should know, I laughed it off my throat tight and changed the topic. But doubt crept in. Was I too deep? I'd lied to everyone, my team, my friends, even Rachel, to protect this secret. Late at night, staring at Zoe's latest hall port, manifests Victor's IP address. I hesitated. One email could tip off the feds, anonymously let them handle it. I could walk away, stay safe. But Rachel's face, her trembling hands, stopped me. So did Nathan's voice echoing from that gala. "Keep pushing those scripts, babe." No, I wasn't running. Zoe's final piece landed yesterday audio from a Nob Hill speakeasy where Nathan met Victor. Nathan's voice, thick with gin, bragged the AI's hours. "You'll have it by Friday." Victor's reply was cold. "No delays, Hayes, or you're done." I listened in my car, the Oakland port looming in my windshield. My hands shaking. This wasn't just about Nexus anymore. It was about what that AI could do. Hack grids, crash markets, ruin lives. Nathan didn't care. He wanted his payout, his throne. And he thought I'd never fight back. The Moscone Center meeting is tomorrow. I've got everything: emails, transfers, Rachel's testimony. But I'm not a hero. I'm terrified. What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? I pushed the thought down, my jaw tight. Nathan's underestimated me for 5 years. Tomorrow I'll show him what I'm made of. And when I do, he'll wish he'd never laughed. The Moscone Center's auditorium in San Francisco buzzes with restless energy. its sleek glass walls framing a restless dawn. Shareholders pack the tiered seats, their whispers sharp, with speculation, their tablets glowing with Nexus Innovations soaring stock charts. I stand at the head of a polished redwood table, my charcoal suit crisp, my posture unyielding. No more faded cardigans or nervous smiles. Today, I'm not Claire Evans, the coder, or Sarah Miller, the reject. I'm Claire Thompson, the shadow CEO who built Nexus, and I'm here to shatter a lie that's choked my company for too long. Nathan Hayes sweeps in, his navy blazer pristine, his grin a practiced mask. Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh trail him, their laughter loud, their confidence a wall. They nod to investors basking in the room's deference, certain this meeting is another coronation. Nathan's eyes flick to me, standing at the podium, and his brow creases. Why's his wife here, in a suit, not a notepad in sight? He brushes it off, settling into his VP chair, whispering to Ethan with a smirk. They think they're safe. Their $20 million AI deal with a Russian cybercrime ring just hours from closing at the port of Oakland. They're wrong. I step to the mic, my voice clear, cutting through the hum. Good morning, let's begin. The room stills, eyes locking on me. Nathan leans back, one eyebrow raised, amused. I meet his gaze, my pulse steady. Nathan, Ethan, Caleb, Ryan. Stay seated. You'll need to hear this. My tone is steel, and Nathan's smirk falters, his fingers tightening on his coffee cup. His crew shifts uneasy, their bravado fraying. Shareholders glance at each other, sensing a shift. I set a slim tablet on the table, its screen dark but heavy with truth. Before we dive into numbers, I say I owe you an introduction, a real one. I pause, the air thick. I'm Claire Thompson, founder and CEO of Nexus Innovations. A collective gasp sucks the oxygen from the room. Nathan chokes, his face blanching. Ethan's pen clatters to the floor. Caleb's jaw drops, his eyes wide. Ryan mutters what the hell under his breath. Shareholders scramble, flipping through agendas, confusion rippling. Amanda Reyes, my proxy COO, sits in the front row. Her nod subtle but firm. She's kept my secret for years. For 5 years, I continue, my voice steady, but laced with fire. I've run Nexus through a proxy to protect it from predators, but I've watched it rot, from greed, from betrayal, from men who thought they could steal what I built. I tap the tablet, and the massive LED wall behind me ignites. Evidence cascades, decrypted emails, bank transfers, port manifests. Nathan's voice slurring from a Nob Hill speakeasy echoes the AI's hours. You'll have it by Friday. A photo shows him at the port of Oakland, shaking hands with Victor, the buyer. Ethan's email brags about bribing a dock worker. Caleb's contract outlines the AI sale for $20 million. Ryan's texts whine about his cut. The room freezes, a tomb of shock. Shareholders gape, their faces ashen. Nathan's hands shake, his coffee spilling. This is a setup, he stammers, but his voice cracks hollow. I step closer, my eyes boring into his. For 9 months, I've tracked your every move, every lie, every dollar you stole, every plan to sell our AI to criminals who'd burn the world with it. You thought I was your joke, Nathan. You thought I was nothing. My words are a whip, and he flinches, his mask gone. He bolts upright, his chair scraping. You can't do this, he roars, his face, red veins bulging. I'm the VP. I made Nexus what it is. The shareholders stare silent, their trust in him dust. I don't blink. You made nothing, I say. My voice low lethal. I coded the algorithms. I signed the contracts. I built this company. And you're a thief. I slide a stack of termination letters across the table. Each one signed, sealed, final. Effective immediately, Nathan Hayes, Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh are fired. Nathan lunges forward, his voice a snarl. "You'll pay for this, Claire." But my security steps in their hands, firm on his arms. Ethan shouts, "This is illegal." Caleb slumps, muttering to himself. Ryan's frozen, his phone slipping from his hand. Then a voice rises from the back. She's right. Rachel and Gwen stands, her posture fierce, her eyes blazing. The room gasps again. Rachel, the engineer. Nathan crushed the one he threatened into silence. I called her last night, begging her to come to speak. Nathan forced me out, she says, her voice steady. He threatened my family when I questioned his deals. Claire's the only one who fought for me. Nathan's eyes dart to Rachel, his panic raw. He turns to his crew, desperate for backup, but they're broken. Ethan staring at the floor. Caleb sweating, Ryan trembling, the shareholders erupt, shouting questions, demanding answers. I raise a hand, silencing them. There's more, I say, my voice cold. Last night I tipped off the FBI. They're at the port of Oakland now, intercepting your buyer, Victor. Your deal's dead. Nathan staggers, his breath, ragged, his world collapsing. Security moves in, escorting them out. Nathan fights, yelling. This isn't over, but his voice fades as the doors slam. The room exhales, the tension snapping. I turn to the shareholders, my voice firm but human. Nexus is ours again. We'll rebuild it, honest, strong, true. Applause breaks, hesitant, then thunderous. Rachel meets my eyes, her nod a quiet thank you. But inside I'm shaking. I won, but at what cost? I've burned my marriage. My safety, maybe my soul. Nathan's gone, but the doubt lingers. Did I go too far? The screen fades to black, but the fight's not over. Not yet. The San Francisco skyline glimmers through the fog, a mosaic of ambition stretching beneath my office window. Nexus Innovations headquarters hums behind me, its open-plan floors alive. With coders sketching algorithms on whiteboards, their chatter a pulse of possibility. 4 weeks have passed since the Moscone Center meeting, since I tore down Nathan Hayes and his crew, exposing their betrayal to the world. The air feels lighter now, but the weight of what I've done, of what I've lost, sits heavy in my chest. I'm Claire Thompson, no longer the shadow CEO, no longer Nathan's punchline. I'm the woman who took back her company, but victory tastes bittersweet. Nathan's collapse was brutal, a public execution by truth. The evidence I unveiled, emails, bank transfers, that damning Nob Hill audio, landed like a grenade. By noon, the FBI had Victor, the Russian buyer, in custody at the port of Oakland, his $20 million AI deal dead. X lit up with leaks, Nexus VP caught in cybercrime sting. The Wall Street Journal called it Silicon Valley's reckoning. Nathan Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh were radioactive. No tech firm would touch them, their 5-year non-competes a career death sentence. Nathan's wife Lauren walked out, filing for divorce and claiming his Palo Alto condo. Last week, a contact spotted him at a Fremont Target, wearing a red vest, restocking shelves. His eyes were empty, his swagger gone, a man reduced to a barcode scanner. Ethan's fighting fraud charges his lawyer's fees, bleeding him dry. Caleb's holed up in a Sacramento rental, dodging subpoenas. Ryan's vanished, his LinkedIn dark rumors swirling, he's driving Lyft in Reno. They're not just fired, they're erased. But their ruin isn't my focus. Nexus is. The day after Moscone, I stood in our Soma atrium, 600 employees staring back, their faces raw with shock and hope. I gripped the mic, my voice unsteady but clear. I'm Claire Thompson, your CEO. I built Nexus to protect, not to plunder. We're done with lies. We're building something real. The applause was deafening, a release of years of fear. I fired every enabler, HR cronies who buried complaints, managers who kissed Nathan's ring. By dusk, 12 were gone, their keycards dead. Rachel Nguyen was my first call. Nathan forced her out for questioning his deals, crushing a mind sharper than most. Over Zoom, her voice trembled. "You want me back?" After everything, I nodded. "Not just back Rachel. I want you to lead our AI lab." She walked through our doors a week later, her smile tentative but fierce. Her team's new intrusion detection model, demoed yesterday, could outsmart any known ransomware. She's not just an engineer, she's a spark reigniting Nexus. The culture's shifting, but it's fragile. I rolled out an anonymous reporting app, Nexus Pulse, catching 3 bullies in its first week, mid-level execs who thrived under Nathan. They're out. I launched a code-forward mentorship program, pairing seniors like Rachel with rookies, no hierarchy, just ideas. Last Friday, I caught 2 interns pitching a blockchain audit tool in the break room, their laughter free, unafraid. That's the Nexus I fought for, but it's not perfect. Some veterans resent the upheaval, whispering I'm too harsh, too fast. I hear them. I doubt myself too. Did I purge too much? Am I rebuilding or just controlling? The numbers don't lie, though. We inked a $150 million deal with a Bay Area telecom, a client Nathan's ego lost. Our stock's up 30 US VCs, circling like hawks. But the real win is the Thompson Future Fund, my $8 million bet on overlooked talent. Inspired by my years as Claire Evans dismissed and mocked it. Funds coders from places like East Oakland and Hunters Point kids who code on library PCs dreaming of Stanford. We've got 1,500 applications, one from a 16-year-old in Richmond who built an app to map food deserts. She's meeting Rachel next week. That's my legacy, not Nathan's ashes. But the cost haunts me. 5 years of lies burned my marriage, my trust, my peace. Last night I found an old photo of Nathan and me laughing at a mission taqueria before his ambition twisted him. I wanted to save him once. Now I've destroyed him. At Moscone, I saw fear in his eyes, not just anger. Did I push too far? The question gnaws, but I shove it down. I had to choose Nexus or Nathan. I chose my company, my people. Still the silence in my apartment, once our home is loud. I turn from the window, my desk stacked with contracts. Rachel's demo notes, a scholarship shortlist. Nexus is alive, but it's on me to keep it that way. The board's watching, some skeptical of my reign. Employees cheer, but whispers of doubt linger. I'm not a hero. I'm a coder who fought for what's hers, and I'm still fighting. Nathan's gone, but the scars he left on me on Nexus aren't. I glance at a post-it on my monitor, Rachel's handwriting. Keep coding, Claire. I smile, small but real. This isn't the end. It's a reboot, and I'm ready. The San Francisco night drapes over the city, its lights piercing the fog like scattered dreams. From my office atop Nexus Innovations, Soma headquarters, I watch the Bay Bridge pulse a quiet rhythm against the chaos of the past 6 months. The Moscone Center Showdown, where I unmasked Nathan Hayes and his crew, feels both distant and raw. Nexus is reborn, its halls buzzing with code and courage, but the cost of that victory lingers in my bones. I'm Claire Thompson, no longer the shadow CEO, no longer the wife who swallowed mockery. I'm the woman who reclaimed her empire, but the scars of that fight, doubt, loss, solitude, remind me I'm human. Nathan's world is dust. The FBI's case built on my evidence crushed him. His deal to sell Nexus's AI to a Russian cybercrime ring collapsed at the Port of Oakland Victor's crew nabbed before dawn. Nathan Ethan Brooks, Caleb Mitchell, and Ryan Walsh are pariahs, their names poison in Silicon Valley. Non-competes lock them out of tech for 5 years, but the court of public opinion was harsher. X tore them apart, resurfacing old posts of Nathan's arrogance, Ethan's shady deals. Nathan's wife Lauren took everything in the divorce: his Palo Alto condo, his Tesla, his pride. Now he's a cashier at a Fremont gas station, his face gaunt, his charm buried under a polyester vest. Ethan's drowning in legal fees. Caleb's hiding from creditors, Ryan's driving delivery in Sacramento. Their ghosts, their empires erased. I don't linger on their fall. It's not my win. Nexus is, 6 months later, my company's a phoenix. It's AI shielding networks from Tokyo to DC. Rachel Nguyen's lab just launched a zero-day exploit detector cutting edge enough to draw DARPA's eye. Our stock's up 40%, a $200 million telecom deal sealed last week. The Thompson Future Fund, my $8 million pledged to coders from Overlooked Corners, East Oakland, Bayview, has 2,000 applicants. A 15-year-old from Richmond coding on a borrowed Chromebook pitched an app to track community fridges. She's shadowing Rachel now. These wins matter, but they're fragile. Some employees still bristle at my reforms, calling me ruthless in Slack whispers. I see their point. I've upended their world, and trust takes time. The price I paid cuts deeper. 5 years of hiding, as Claire Evans cost me my marriage. My privacy, my sense of self. I lied to everyone, friends, colleagues, even Rachel, to protect my plan. My Oakland apartment, once a haven, feels like a cell, its silence screaming Nathan's absence. I found his old Stanford hoodie in a drawer last week, and for a moment I remembered the man who loved me. Before greed consumed him, I wanted to save him, to pull him back, but he chose betrayal, and I chose Nexus. That choice saved my company, but broke something in me. Late at night, I wonder, was I too hard? Did I lose myself to win? These scars taught me lessons I carry, and I want you to hear them. First, your worth is yours alone. Nathan's mockery tried to shrink me, but I held my truth tight. Don't let anyone dim your light. Second, patience is a weapon. I waited, planned, struck when ready. Your moment will come, sharpen yourself for it. Third, justice demands sacrifice. Exposing Nathan cost me everything but saved Nexus. Fight for what's right, even when it hurts. Fourth, build others up. The Thompson Fund isn't pity. It's powerlifting voices the world ignores. Find someone to raise, and you'll rise too. Finally, pain can fuel purpose. My hurt rebuilt Nexus stronger, fairer. Let your struggles shape something bigger. I step from the window, my desk cluttered with Rachel's specs. A scholarship shortlist, a new EU contract. Nexus is thriving, but doubts linger. A board member questioned my stability yesterday, citing my personal toll. A junior coder hesitated to report a manager fearing backlash. The work's not done. I'm not a savior, just a coder who fought for her creation. Rachel's post-it, keep coding. Claire sticks to my monitor, a quiet anchor. I'm still learning, still rebuilding, still me. What's your fight? Have you faced a Nathan a lie? A moment you had to stand. Drop your story below. Let's lift each other. Stay tuned for more tales of grit and truth. This isn't my end. It's my next line of code.